Hi, hello, and welcome to the Notebook Nook with me, Mera. This is a place to unwind and reflect on our day-to-day lives, sprinkled with some bookish convos and, of course, some stories of my life. If that's something that sparks your interest, you're more than welcome to join the venture that I call the Notebook Nook. Hi, hello, this is Esmeralda V, and welcome here to my podcast. Today, I actually wanted to talk about just music in general, you guys. Now, music has been a very huge part in my life growing up and even present time. And though some people probably believe that there's no universal sign to things or they don't believe in spirituality, it's totally fine. Everyone has their own beliefs. But me personally, lately, I have been receiving so much messages from the universe or somewhere unexplainable, I guess you guys can say. But like most of the time, when I have a certain, I don't know, like I'm going through something or a certain event, a particular song will pop up and it is something so relatable to the event at hand. And so for me, it just resonates so much. For example, recently, and I'll talk about a few things as well as my own personal life with music and how I've been surrounded by it. But I first wanted to start off with recently, how I've been feeling just in a much more amazing, kind of different shift of mental health at this point. It's as if I am rekindling the love of life and really getting to enjoy what I have and all the blessings that I am given. And I have to say, it's like night and day from last year to this year. And it did take a lot of therapy. It took a lot of moments of me having to be vulnerable to really basically kind of hash out all my just dark thoughts and things that I've been dealing with and trauma that I probably, kept so deep inside of me and didn't want to deal with. And yeah, so it was kind of very difficult, but like I said, this year has been just a huge shift, especially in March. For some reason, March, early April, I have been having this song in my head to the point to where it resonated with me so much that I even cuddled my son. And I rocked him to this song. And it was just so meaningful because I felt like he's my little sunshine, he kind of gives me that motivation to keep going. Now, keep in mind, I do have like my husband, a few family and friends that know my situation and have been very supportive and patient with me. And I absolutely appreciate every single one of them. But my son has been the one that's given me that thing. Well, you know what? Your son needs a mommy. And I want to be able to be there in his life and enable for me to be there mentally strong and mentally there. I need to work on myself. It was a lot of self-help kind of thing that I had to work on. But the song that's been sticking to my head is the actual lullaby version of You Are My Sunshine. Now, I know there's various artists who actually sang this song in their own rendition pretty much. So you have like Jimmy Davis, Ray Charles, Johnny Cash, I believe even Aretha Franklin sang it, and also even Anika Moa. And they all did their own renditions. Beautiful song. But the lullaby version is the one I resonate with more because I know the original, it's more about like losing somebody and wanting them back kind of situation and like how important they were in their lives and how they don't want to lose them, But in the lullaby version, it's all about just kind of something more pure, more tender kind of thing about like how something can be your brightness in your life, and even though the clouds can be dark, you will always have, somebody to brighten up your life. And for me, that was kind of like my son, he was that motivation that I had to push forward so that he can have a healthy mom, in the future. And a little bit of the song that I wanted to kind of say it here, I'm not going to sing it. My vocals are not the best. To be honest with you, I was not blessed with good vocals. I am more of the shower type of singer where I kind of mispronounce words and don't say the right lyrics, and sometimes I just hum it. But I am going to say some of the lyrics that really resonated with me in this little lullaby, and it goes kind of like this. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. I'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. And just holding my son and realizing the brightness that he brings into my life, it's just, and even the people around me, and just how much sunshine I feel like I'm getting from all these vibrations of the people around me that love me and that have been giving me like great advice and been listening to me and really respecting my boundaries and stuff, like especially with me kind of getting to know myself and bettering my mental health. And I know it's been difficult for my loved ones, but just knowing that I have that kind of brightness within my life nowadays, it's like I'm able to see it now. And that song just keeps playing in my head. And sometimes I'm in the shower and I'm humming it, or I'm singing it to my son. This song just really, really resonated with the way that I'm feeling nowadays. I have just this high vibrational kind of feelings that I really cannot explain to you guys. I never thought, especially last year, I never thought that today I would actually be feeling the way that I'm feeling, and really, I don't know, like just resonating with all that energy. And I even told my older brother when I was talking to him, and I said, I don't know why, like, because he asked me, how are you doing, by the way? I don't know. I just kind of told him, you know what, if I can explain to you what I'm feeling right now, I even told him about this particular song, right? You Are My Sunshine, and how it's been really, really resonating with me. And I told him, if I can explain to you how I'm feeling, is as if I am having this major vibration of energy surrounding me. Like we have so much positive ions and atoms just floating around me and reinvigorating my soul. That is pretty much how I am feeling, which is putting me in a really good mindset, And a lot of it has to do with me listening to more positive things, researching more positive quotes, actually watching some funny either TikToks or YouTube videos that will uplift me. And it has been helping so much, but most importantly, even listening to uplifting music. And that is kind of the subject that I wanted to have today. Is just talking about just how important music has been in my life. And I'm going to talk about other more kind of like wow moments with music and how they've showed up in my life. But I do want to say that in my family, my mom and my dad are actually really great duet singers kind of thing. They love to harmonize. Growing up, ever since I was very, very little, our family used to get together in big, huge events. Now I have a huge family. When both my dad's side of family and my mother's side of family got together, it was as if it was like a huge, I'm talking about a good maybe 150, 200 people that get together. Like it was so huge. Like I have such a big family, but a very loving family nonetheless. And all of them are very filled with music. Like they love music. Some of them are musicians, some of them are singers, and some of them just love dancing and just enjoying music in general. So growing up in a Hispanic household, music has been a huge, huge part of my personal life and in my culture too. So in my dad's side of family, they always get together, they play guitars, and it's such a beautiful thing, that's just hasn't been lost in my family. On my mom's side of family, I do have uncles, that they were in a band and they were singing and they play, instruments as well. And my grandfather, their dad, was absolutely supportive to that, And so I've always seen that. And now seeing like my cousins and, other distant family members that are also engaging in all these wonderful, amazing instrumental music kind of endeavors. I'm just so proud of them. And I'm really, really happy that they are enjoying music just as much as I am, So yeah, so in my family, music has been a big part of it. My parents were very well known for pretty much singing, and my dad would always carry his guitar around, and him and my mother would have like a duet. They would harmonize songs, and oh my gosh, if I could just explain how wonderful they sounded, and not just because they were my parents, but their voices just meshing together made this just harmonious, beautiful music that came out of them. And it was just so much nostalgia when I listen to music. And I always think about those moments in which my mom and dad would sing. And yeah, so that was a big, big part of me. Now, me, like I said, I was not blessed with vocal skills, that's for sure. I was blessed with other things, but not the vocal skills. Dancer, yes, I'm a phenomenal dancer, but not to toot my horn, but I love dancing. Dancing was always something that I know I was good at. My younger brother actually is a really great singer. He can actually harmonize, and he does a lot of karaoke and stuff, and he got great vocals. Me personally, I lack in that very, very much. But nonetheless, I love music. So I just wanted to talk about that little portion, but I wanted to say some things that had kind of odd situations that happened to me that it's kind of hard to describe But I guess if I can explain it to you guys, for example, I had a bunny and I loved her so, so, so much. Her name was Ruby. And she eventually ended up passing away after we moved into our first home, me and my husband. And yeah, it was already a year after we got married and we moved into our home. And a few months afterwards, I would say about 3 months afterwards, she did pass away. She did have a lot of respiratory issues, and I would take her to the vet, give her antibiotics, and she struggled so much with her respiratory issues. So she lasted pretty long with me. And I was so devastated. I was so heartbroken. Felt like she was with me through the tough times and the hard times. And just knowing that I lost her, I was devastated. And when my husband came home, he's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." I was so heartbroken. So we ended up taking her to a funeral location, a cremation location, and we got her cremated. And I really, really appreciate my husband for doing that. So on the day we went to go pick up her ashes, you guys, I kid you not, I went to go pick up the ashes. I came back still bawling because, just everything's starting to set in. And then they give you this beautiful poem about the Rainbow Bridge. And I mean, you guys can just imagine. I was just a big old baby. I was just drowning in these tears. And I opened the door to the car, and my husband's face when he was looking at me, he was just like, uh, uh, uh. It's like no words could come out of his face, and he was pointing at the radio. And I was like, what's going on? And he goes, look at this song. Look at this song. It just came on when you opened the door. And I was like, what? So I sat down, and I kid you not, we were listening to 101.1, okay? For those who may not know, back in the days, back in 2010, 2011, around there, 101.1 was an alternative rock kind of music. So that's pretty much all you really heard was alternative rock. And here was this punk kind of song. It was like, Ruby, 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 Ruby. And it's just like, oh my gosh, you guys, it had the name Ruby. And it was about saying goodbye. I was like, what? What? And tears were flowing down me. And some of the words that it would say, it was like, I think the song actually, by the way, before I continue, it was called Ruby Soho, and it was by Rancid. And again, it was a punk kind of music band. And yeah, so it was just saying, destination unknown, Ruby, 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 Ruby. And it talks about embracing, with warm gestures. It's time to say goodbye. I was like, ah. And then it says, Ruby's heart ain't beating because she knows the feeling's gone. And there was another part that also saying about Ruby's fading out. She disappears. It's time to say goodbye. So this song was all about saying goodbye. And again, Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. I was just, what are the odds of that, you guys? I felt like I was getting a sign from the universe or even from Ruby herself. And maybe she's on the other side, because I do believe we get messages from people on the other side. That is just my personal belief. You guys don't have to believe that. But because I've had so many odd things happen to me, that's the only thing that I can really, I guess, think that is happening, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so there was this song that was just telling me, it's time to say goodbye, and that kind of like she's in a better place now. It was so, so hard to listen to that. And me and my husband were just like, whoa, what a message, So that was one of the situations that have happened to me with music. Another time was actually on the first day that I actually took on and actually went to therapy for the very first time ever in my life last year. And I still remember it till today. It was like April 8th. And I was so confused. I didn't know if this was something that I was going to be able to do. I don't know. I just didn't know what to expect from therapy. I knew that I was going to hash out a lot of memories. And I knew for me, at where I was, at the point of where I was mentally, I just had to talk about everything from my past. And though when you go to therapy, it's kind of free flowing. It's more of what you want to talk about. And the therapist usually goes on your pace. Well, at least that's kind of how it should be. For me, I was like, I took the reins and I was like, nope, I'm driving this car and I'm going to just spill everything that I have to say, because this has to be a reason as to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, even though I really couldn't pinpoint why I was feeling so depressed. And when I got out of that therapy session, you guys, I was already bawling, of course, just having to rehash memories and things like that and certain events. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I was just wondering, am I going to be able to handle this? Am I going to be able to continue with therapy? And I know that it's supposed to help, but like, will it help? I had so much doubts and so much fear and so much just sadness. And I was just so heartbroken just on my situation at hand. And I got in the car, I turned on the car, and the song came on from Maroon 5, and it was called Memories. And I lost it again, you guys. I lost it. I'm telling you guys, that song is all about basically remembering the memories and how it can affect us or how we feel after them. Like, memories sometimes makes us feel happy, but then there's some memories that will kind of hurt us. And then there's going to be moments in which we're going to remember people that may have passed away. It's all about memories. And literally my therapy session was about memories. And I just felt like it was almost a sign, at least for me, the way I took it was almost a sign from the universe saying, you know what? You needed to hash these memories out. And yes, they may be painful, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. So for me, like I said, music in general has always played a very huge part of me. And for some reason, when I listen to a particular song, when I mostly need it, like an event happens, and next thing you know, I hear this random song, I do listen to it and I do reflect on that song. And I wonder if maybe somebody else out in the universe, anybody else in this world probably is going through the same thing. I wanted to leave off with one simple little quote actually from Plato. And he actually wrote, it says, music gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. And that's exactly what music plays in my life. What does music basically resonate with you guys? Has it played a huge role in your guys' life? Just something to kind of think about and reflect on. And I'm going to leave you guys off. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm trying not to ramble too much and just kind of straight, like get to the point. But I really hope you guys actually enjoyed this entry. If you guys did, don't forget to really like and follow me here in this podcast. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And wherever you are, I hope that you guys are staying safe. I'm going to send so much love out to you and send out great vibrations to you guys. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And then until next time, you guys, bye.